So this guy came on my YouTube channel as a Winners Wednesday, probably, how long ago was that? Coming up to
December last year.
Okay, so maybe like 9-10 months ago. People have been commenting saying part 2 question mark. So he's down in the office now, so we're going to do a part 2.
Love it.
He's become a winner again, and then a winner again, and then a winner again. Also, sometimes people that come on Winners Wednesday, they're quite early on in their journey. It's sort of better to find out how people are doing a year or so on after their journey. So should we go get some
let's do it.
and see what's crack-a-lacking? These guys are all smashing it. You're smashing it. I'm smashing it. We'll tell these guys about it so you can smash it too.
Yeah, definitely.
Subscribe though, man. Drop a comment. If you want to see a repeat Winners Wednesday, you want to see how they're getting on now, drop their name below and I'll see what I can do. Subscribe, I'll see you in a sec. So what's happened then, Anthony, since, I mean, you won the eviction firstly, congratulations.
Thank you.
£20,000. It's funny because the money's so small.
Yes.
£20,000 is not a lot of money. But it was emotionally, it was such a...
The emotions of that process were crazy, and yeah, it was scary, the whole thing to go through it. And I remember winning it, and the emotions of winning it was just crazy. And
for anyone that doesn't know, you won the eviction, which was a competition. The winner got 20 grand, you got 20 grand. What did you do with the money?
So I've used it to invest in a number of projects that we're doing at the minute.
Yeah.
So we actually got the 5 lease option apartments that we did as part of the eviction. So we've taken them on as a joint venture group.
Insane. So 5 apartments on a lease option agreement.
Yeah.
How much money down did you guys have to put down?
So in the end, when we actually did it as part of the eviction, they were pitched by the agent to us as a no money down deal.
Yeah.
But when actually we come to sign the contracts and things, looking at about 12 grand to put into them.
But then there's 5 apartments.
It's not bad.
12 grand, 5 apartments. How much cash flow are they going to give you?
So they will give us, so we're still in the process of getting them all set up at the minute, but they will give us about £500-600 cash flow per each. So it's not bad.
So when you came on Winners Wednesday last time, I remember, I think the title was something like from 0 to financially free in 3 months.
Yeah.
It was all super fast.
Yeah.
And the deals that you did in those first few months, how are they doing?
Oh, they're doing fantastic. So my apartment in Sheffield still had 80% plus occupancy rate with it. We've actually, through that particular apartment, we were contacted by somebody else in the same block recently who's also got one in there. They live abroad, they're not managing it very well, so they've asked us if we'll take it off them on a rent-to-rent. And that's purely through the previous Winners on a Wednesday video and just how we market our apartment.
What do you mean from the Winners Wednesday video?
So they saw that they contacted me and said, look, we saw you've got an apartment in Sheffield.
This is the power of being on Winners Wednesday.
And they said, yeah, we saw that you've got one, it's doing really well. We've got ours, it's not performing really well. And we got a really good deal from them. So we're looking to take that on in the next couple of weeks now.
Brilliant, okay. So, and you didn't like a joint venture. You'd also borrowed money, you'd done a no money down finance. Are they renting out nicely?
So the house, it took a little bit longer than we wanted to get rented, the buy refurbishment finance.
This is property, right? It takes time.
A lot of it comes down to is how we manage the refurb. And you know, I'll be honest and say we could have managed it better, but that's the learning curve, isn't it? And
this is what we want now. You've been in the game a long time. This is Winners Wednesday 2. Let's get the lessons and stuff out of it. Have you moved all the tenants in? They're paying, everything's good?
Tenants are in. They've been in for 3 months now, paying absolutely fine. Lovely tenants, really happy with the house.
How much do they pay?
So they pay 475 on that one.
475, and the profit on that?
So we make about we manage that one ourselves, so we make £323.
£323 a month, manage it yourself though. And that was a no money down deal?
So yeah, we put no money into that one, we used investor finance.
So when people say that no money down is not true, you've done it, it's renting, you're getting the money coming in, it is possible, right?
Yeah. I mean, and I say this to people all the time, every single one of the deals that I personally have done have been a no money down or none of my own money into the deal.
Yeah.
And so they are possible, you know, they are. It's about building the right relationships with people.
What does no money down deal mean?
So for me, no money down means none of my own money into the deal.
Yeah.
Now this for me might mean that I've put it on a 0% credit card that I've got for 6 months and I'm going to pay it back using the profits from the property, because to me that's still none of my own money in the deal. And that's how we did our apartment in Sheffield.
I sometimes find people do it is it's like your lease option agreements deal. You've got 5 properties, you put down 12 grand, that's what, like how much each? Like 2,000 approximately pound per apartment. It's not no money down, but it's so little if you can't get your hands on £2,000 for an apartment, then you really shouldn't be in this industry. So when we say no money down, it's more to the point of most people think I have to work for 20 years to save £30,000 deposit to then do buy-to-let traditionally. And we're saying you don't need to do that. You don't need to save up big capital deposits. You could be creative, lease options. You can control property on rent-to-rent. You can package deals and make a bit of money and put that down towards a lease option. Or you can buy a property, refurb it, and then pull your money back out and recycle your money. There's all these strategies. But if you don't want to believe in no money down deals, if you're how? What's no money down? Because you have to pay the solicitor fees, £700. How? Then you shouldn't be even in this industry. Do you know what I'm saying?
You're exactly right. It's all about just being creative. There's a solution to every problem, and like you say, it's about having good problems and bad problems. I'd rather have a problem where how am I going to find the investment for this property than I'm just not even going to entertain getting into it because there's no such thing as a no money down deal.
Yeah.
And it does. Like I said, we've done it with every single one.
Yeah, I just don't know how people can still say it's impossible to do no money down deals when every single day on the Facebook group, every week on Winners Wednesday, there's more and more stories of people doing it. How can you continually say it's not possible, it's too good to be true, when so many people are doing it?
I think the reality is it's that title, isn't it? No money down. And like you say, people don't want to believe that you can't buy a property with no money. And the reality is you can't. There is some money that goes in there, but it doesn't have to be yours. It's about being creative. And I think when you embrace that creativeness, anything's possible.
Yeah. Okay, so deals-wise, I know you've been sourcing a lot of deals as well. Like, what kind of deals have you been sourcing? How many deals have you sold, packaged and sold, since you last came on Winners Wednesday?
An awful lot. I'd probably say 15, 16, something like that.
15, 16 deals. Yeah. What's the average fee?
So they range. The minimum we sort of charge on a fee is probably about 2,500.
Yeah.
The maximum we charged for one that went through was 5,000. So that was a development deal. That
so you made some serious money.
Yeah.
You've partnered up with someone else on the academy?
Yeah, so partnered up with James Armstrong. Yeah.
Yeah. How's that going?
Absolutely fantastic. James is phenomenal and he's very good at deal sourcing. And he sort of helps me take my business to the next level because I really like to get out there and view the properties and look at how the buy, refurbish, refinance works, whereas James is very investor focused, and he's built some amazing investors. So we build a great relationship together because he's finding the investors, I'm finding the deals, and it just works.
Yeah, that's great.
And,
all right, so tell me about some of the challenges and problems and issues that you've had that you've learned from, because I know as entrepreneurs we say we don't win or fail, we win or learn. So a failure or a mistake is just a lesson. And if you can learn from other people's mistakes, it's a lot smarter than learning from your own. So I want to just draw from some of the mistakes that you've made.
I think there's a couple of lessons that we've learned along the way, and one is when you joint venture with people, that relationship. Because when you joint venture with people, you might think you know the person and you might think the relationship's going to go really well. And even though you do know the person, it's about defining the roles that you've got individually.
Yeah.
So our lease option apartments in Derby are going really well and we know they're going to be extremely successful. However, there's been a lot of teething problems along the way.
Yeah.
Because there's 4 of us involved in it and everybody is equally putting as much effort in, but then things get missed. And just because we're all very active people, it's about making sure that we individually define roles.
Yeah.
So now what we've done is, right, you take on that, you take on that, you take on that.
Yes. So you've got key responsibilities.
Yeah.
That's the same with any business, isn't it?
It is.
Unless or even with a football team, if you just dump 11 people on and they don't know who's the striker and who's the defender, you end up just missing stuff and the goalkeeper's up front and there's people scoring against you, whereas in a joint venture it's the same. Who's responsible for what are the key roles and responsibilities, who's doing what? That's a really important lesson.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the second thing is we talk about having exit strategies all the time with any kind of property investment, but we don't talk about what happens contingency as you're going through the process. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really important as well. So like I said, my buy, refurbish, refinance, the refurb went over a couple of months. So then in the meantime, we're paying council tax, we're paying bills. Mm-hmm. But whereas these are all things that we haven't factored in. So that cost has to come from somewhere. Yeah. And it's about understanding how we can solve them problems, because if you get landed with, if you miss a council tax bill, which is this, this is what happened to us, and we got landed with 12 months worth of council tax needed paying up front, then you're backtracking we solved the situation, and we got relief because it was empty whilst we were refurbing it. But the point being is we could have anticipated that. We could have foreseen that problem coming. If we'd have looked at contingencies and looked at things that may go wrong. So I think you talk a lot about best case, worst case, likely case, and I think that should have been in our worst case scenario. But because we didn't put it in there, we didn't look at that. We weren't prepared for it.
Absolutely. I think whenever I'm doing a deal, I'll always say, what's the worst case? And some of my partners on the property side of the business, they actually think I'm a negative person. I am I'm the most positive person on the planet probably, but when I'm doing a deal, the way I do the calculations is quite negative often. I always look at what are the worst cases. If we're still making money on all the worst cases happening, then we're good to go. And then I'm always pleasantly surprised. So that's great. Builders, you said you've got some issues with builders.
So with builders, really, it's just because they've been working on multiple jobs, and one thing I've noticed is when one thing falls back, so on the project, what happened was one of the builders couldn't complete the particular task they wanted to do, so that meant that had a knock-on effect on everybody, which puts everything out by 2, 3, 4 weeks plus. So from a refurb perspective, that's a really valuable lesson because I've got investor friends at the minute that their refurbs ran over by 3 months. When you're looking at HMO development and your bills ran over by 3 months, that's a lot of money that you're missing out on there.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I think from the last time we interviewed you on the channel, you just got started. You'd gone crazy, and when you started a year ago, whenever it was, I think you came to the deal funding extravaganza a year ago?
September, yeah.
Okay, so pretty much a year ago. Yeah. So when you came to the deal funding extravaganza a year ago, you went crazy, and you just went all out, you viewed loads of properties, you went insane, but you didn't really know what you were doing.
No.
You had no money, you were completely broke. I do the financial freedom challenge and become financially free in 7 days or whatever. You did that for real, and you quit your job, working in retail, did that for real with no money and no knowledge, went into your overdraft to pay for some training with myself, and your journey, even when you last came on Winners Wednesday, when you've been in the business 4 months and you've done deals and you're financially free technically, which was great, but now you're just such a richer, you've got such a depth of knowledge and understanding about property. It's incredible seeing where you are now as to where you were even when you came on Winners Wednesday.
Thank you.
Do you feel that?
I do. And do you know what I think the most important thing to focus on is that I never focus on the money aspect of it. Now, I had a financial freedom figure, which was the goal I needed to achieve.
What was that?
So it's £1,123.
Very low.
Yeah.
And you hit that within 3 months?
I did, yeah.
And how much money are you making now?
So last month, because I don't take any out of the property, it goes back into our business. So if I
how
collect
much profit? If you put it back in, that's your choice. But
so
how much profit are you
about £8,000 last month.
That's
so
good.
That's from deal sourcing and the passive on the properties.
Yeah.
So,
and we're going about half. You're making about £3,000, £4,000 from property.
Yeah, about that now.
Yeah, which is a very good, decent wage. I mean, to get to that within a year, and then your deal sourcing. But you're right though. You don't focus on the money. You very much focus on the growth aspect.
And that's really important because when you take money out of the equation, doors open because everything changes because you're focusing on your own development and you're focused on, everybody has a why, everybody has a reason why they're doing this. And when you focus on why you want to do this, you'll become more successful quicker.
That's really interesting that you say that. Don't focus on the money, focus on the why. What I've seen in your journey is I've seen you focusing on relationships. Like we've become really good friends, which is incredible. Yeah. Did you think that we'd become really good friends when you came on the crash course?
Well, that was one of my goals.
That was one of your goals?
Honestly, when I went to the crash course with my brother, when you walked out, because when I came to the crash course, I wasn't expecting you to be there. I was expecting a video.
Right.
And you turned up and I said to my brother, I'm going to be friends with him.
Yeah.
And that became one of my goals because, I saw the passion in you and I just wanted to be around that.
How do you feel that you've made that happen?
I'm ecstatic with myself because, it just goes to show that nothing's unreachable if you put the effort into it.
Well, how do you feel you made that happen? Because, what did you do? Did you just keep showing up?
I kept showing up and taking action.
Yeah.
Because, and when I go to any of your training courses, and I say this to all the people I meet there, as far as I'm concerned, it's me and you.
Yeah.
And there might be people in there in the break that I talk to, but whilst you're presenting, there's me and you. So if you ask a question, I'm going to answer it. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's me and you.
Yeah.
So you can't help but...
I get that. You know what as well, Anthony, because I know there's a lot of people from within the academy that I've become friends with, and you're one of them. And I even bounce stuff off you, I'll ring you up, ask you questions, which is just insane. You've almost gone from a student to still a student, but more a peer now. Which is incredible, considering I've been in the game so long and done so much, and you've been in the game a year. But sometimes people say, I've got 20 years experience of a property investor, and I'm thinking, you've got 1 year's experience, photographed it 20 times. They've been in the game 20 years, so they've been doing the same things over and over. You've been in the game a year, but you've done so much. You've done lease options, joint ventures, you've raised finance, you've done HMOs, buy-to-lets, refurbish refinances, deal packaging. You've really been immersing yourself in it. You've been coming to pretty much every crash course. You know the stuff, but you're just coming for the relationships and the excitement and the growth, which is incredible. But I am really, really impressed. But what I was going to say is, if you want to get my attention, which is what you've done, is take action and get results. Sometimes people message me and they say, I went on the crash course, or I went on this, or watch YouTube videos and I don't understand this, it's not working, and they come up with problems and stuff. I don't even read those messages because I'm not interested, because I am repulsed by negativity. I'm repulsed by it. I have people in my team that deal with negativity when it needs to happen, but what I'm attracted to is success. And when people start being successful, I'm an investor in property, I'm an investor in people. When I invest my time into people like Crash Course or at DFA or the Academy, people that take action, that for me, that's me saying, I'm getting a return on investment. I spent my time giving a 2-day crash course for free, and now I'm seeing a return because that person's successful, that person's successful, that person's successful. Now what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to invest more into those people because I know I'll get a return. The bitches, the whiners, the moaners, I'm just so uninterested in speaking to them. I'm totally uninterested. Sometimes they'll try and get my attention by moaning, oh, it's impossible for me, or I'm struggling, or I did what you said, didn't. I'm so uninterested. I'm interested in people that are taking action, and people that are actually doing it, and then I want to spend time with them. And because you've done so much, that's why it's like, all right, let's get a drink. All right, come on down to this dinner. Come on down to me. Have you met any celebrities yet?
So I met Robert Kiyosaki.
You met Robert Kiyosaki? And did you pay for that?
No, that was all courtesy of yourself.
Right, because I'm just like, I've got a meeting with Robert Kiyosaki, and I want to bring some friends. Hey, do you want to come? So it's insane.
But you're right, and you seek them people out, and even I do it now. When I see people's faces all the time, I'm like, oh, I know you, and you seek them out, and exactly, that's exactly right. That's what happened with yourself and I. You sought me out because I was taking action. That's fantastic. What
have you learned about yourself then in the last 12 months?
I think the most important thing is that I can doubt myself an awful lot, and when I take that away and stop doubting myself and just start taking action, then I do a lot more, because I'm very analytical about what I do, and I'm very focused on even the things I say, and then actually it's just about, well, take action first and worry about it after.
Yes.
And I think just having that slight shift of mindset is absolutely massive.
Take action first, then worry about it after. So important. Most people worry about things that shouldn't even be a concern because they're not doing anything. They're thinking, oh, what happens about this, or the insurance, or what happens if the landlord says this? The landlord isn't going to say anything if you don't go speak to him. You just got to get out there and do it, take action, and then figure out along the way. Love that. So, okay, making about $8 grand a month in property, been in the game about a year, second time on Winners Wednesday. Talk to us about your advice to people watching this that are just thinking, dude, I got to get where you're at. I want to be in that chair. Like, what's your advice?
I think my best piece of advice is nothing is unattainable. When people start out in property, they think they have to go this very pyramid route of your foundation of buy-to-let, rent, service, accommodation, and then etc, etc, etc. That's not always the case. Just be careful about what you're doing, but if you see something, then you can pursue it with a joint venture partner. So yes, it's right about building the foundations and going upwards, but you can actually reach for something at the top by using somebody else's skills and experience and leveraging somebody else. I think that's absolutely important, because there are a lot of people, there's a lot of people in this industry now that are so worried to start because they think everything's very saturated and they think they can't do it. But if you do something different and step out, then people will notice you, and people will seek you out and they'll support you.
That's great. One of the things I really appreciate about you as well, Anthony, is some people they achieve £1,000 a month, £2,000 a month, and then I'll ask them to come on Winners Wednesday, share their story with us. Some people don't want to because they think, oh no, I don't want it because I don't want to give away my secrets. So firstly, I want to honour you for coming on Winners Wednesday 6 months ago. Secondly, sometimes people come on, but then when they go and start making 8, 9, 10 grand a month and they're killing it, then you can't get hold of them. That's just the truth of it.
People forget where they come from.
People do.
And
I find it really shocking.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people are like, you know, Samuel, I want to come on your training, Samuel, can you help me out? And all this. And then I'll invest into them and then they'll become successful, but then they disappear. And then, like, there's some people that I came on Winners Wednesday before, I don't think they'd come on again. Because they've been too busy, they're travelling, they're doing their own thing, you know, and I'm not judging those people, that's great, but I just love it when people continue inspiring people, continue sharing, continue, they've been blessed and now they're being a blessing to others, you know, which I really admire about you. So, and who knows, maybe we'll do in a year's time, we can even do like a part 3 or something, you know, once a year, see how Anthony's getting on. So, love that. How's the academy been for you?
Academy's been fantastic because I've built so many relationships there and well, like you already said, James and I are working together now. I didn't have that relationship with him 6 months ago. Yeah. And now we've got an extremely successful business that we're working together on and we're doing some absolutely fantastic things that I cannot wait to share with you.
That's amazing. So we've got the crash course, which is free, 2 days. All starts at the crash course, right?
It all starts at the crash course, yeah.
If you like that and you love the crash course and you learn loads, then we have the academy, which is 12 months, which is mentoring, coaching, training, the whole caboodle, success dinners, mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And like you said, it builds on the knowledge of the crash course and gives you the really in-depth detail on all the specific strategies.
Yeah.
So that's
so if you guys have been watching this and you want to come on Winners Wednesday, you want to get the knowledge, you want to learn what Anthony's doing, I'd probably suggest that you start with the crash course and it's going to blow you away, folks. I'm going to put a link below on the crash course and please do drop a comment. I want you to comment, what was the key thing that Anthony said that you were like, that's it for me, that was worth watching the video for that point, the best point. Drop in the comments, what did Anthony say you like best? And also, who do you want to see on Winners Wednesday? If you want to see another repeat, see how they're getting on, drop their name below. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Anthony, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
And subscribe, I'll see you next time. Thanks so much.